RHYNO, welcome to a new rhino. I need to get some hobbies, so I joined a book club, but by the time I'd finished the first book, they were already on the third, so there was no point in me getting involved with that. And then I was going to join a fencing club, but they told me that I wasn't allowed to bring my own sword. They said that it was more of an axe, so I didn't bother going back to that. And they wouldn't let me be a scout leader. So I've decided to take swimming lessons. Now, why did I want to take swimming lessons? So, you know when you're on holiday and even if you're just scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, you'll see people that dive off boats into the sea. You'll see people that dive off cliffs into the sea. You'll see people diving off anything. And that is a skill I want to learn. I want to be able to just dive off anything and land perfectly and safely as well. It just looks cool. I want to be one of them. I want to look cool like them. So I turned up to my first lesson. I was a bit early and there was already sort of a class about to take place in another pool. So I thought, do you know what would be quite funny? If I just pretended to be their new instructor for a bit. So I walked out there and I was like, all right, boys and girls, what I want you to do is I want you to cannonball into the pool and start your warm-up. Thought it'd be a nice little start for them. Some of them were a bit hesitant, so I gave them a little push in. So come on, off you go. And then my instructor came out and he was livid. Not only because I wasn't qualified to be teaching them, but also because I didn't make any of the kids put their armbands on. Now, it's fair enough. But they've already had a few lessons. They all seem to know each other, so they must have had lessons before. So it's not like they don't know how to swim. Anyway, so our lesson began and I was asking him loads of questions about diving, about the different techniques I need to be using. Will I be able to do it in the Olympics? What's the difference between like diving off a boat level and Olympic diving level? What's the difference? What's that all about? Roly-polies underwater is a skill. No, as it turns out. Anyone can do it. Just gets water up your nose. That's all you need to be prepared for. Anyway, right. So yeah, the first lesson began, and he told me that we're not going to be doing any diving for the first few weeks. We're going to be mainly practicing on swimming techniques. I said to him, mate, the fact that I'm already in this pool and I've not drowned surely proves to you that I can swim. And he was like, Rhino, please just do what I say. You've paid for these lessons. Let me teach you. All right, fine, but let me teach you a few things as well. Yeah, when we were in the pool, I made really good friends with this couple. I was like, watch this. And then I just sort of like started doing a backstroke, did a somersault underwater, held my breath for ages, and then came back up and they were like, wow, Ryder, that's really cool, that. And I was like, thank you. What, do you guys want to do something now? And they couldn't. They weren't as experienced of a swimmer as myself. I mean, they were old. They were a lot older. They were in their 80s. So I guess they're wiser than me in a sense. But in terms of swimming capabilities and skill, I was far above them. And I let them know that as well. A lot of people in the lesson were getting annoyed with me because the way I swim, it creates a lot of splashing. So the instructor was telling me there's basically, when you're doing a stroke, you sort of twist your hands when it goes into the water. That way you get more of like a glide. Whereas beforehand, I was just sort of smacking my way in. Thought quicker the better, surely. But yeah, that's why I was doing so much splashing and everything like that. And we're all there to learn. I didn't bloody know, did I? A few of the times I did splash them deliberately for a laugh, but we're in a pool. I'm not gonna not have a laugh when I'm in a pool. The instructor had a go at me as well for running too much. But I was just like, mate, how are you supposed to do a running cannonball jump if you can't run? And he was like, A, you don't run, you just do a cannonball. And B, why are you doing cannonballs in my lessons? And I was like, well, I need to perfect them, don't I? Because even when I'm cannonballing, I end up like spreading myself out as I'm diving in, jumping in. I don't know. Cannonballs aren't as easy as everyone makes out to be anyway. And another thing about this sexy swimming instructor, right, is that he would always help out the women a lot more than the men. And maybe they were struggling as well. Like I said, I'm already a master swimmer, so I didn't need as much help as the others. But why was he helping them so much? Because the thing is, if we were on a sinking ship, or like the Titanic, for example, right? It's the women and children that will get put on the lifeboats first. So the men should have the priority on the swimming lessons, because we're the ones that are going to need to swim. Now, I'm not saying that women don't need to swim, because lifeboats can sink as well, but I should get priority over everyone else in that building. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Less grabbing women's hips and more giving Rhino tips. Another thing as well is when I was doing my somersaults underwater and showing off in front of that old couple, I stubbed my toe on the side, and my God, it hurts when you stub your toe. You know the pain. You can't really do anything in that situation. And I was really struggling dealing with this pain whilst trying to swim, and the guy ended up jumping in and helping me out. Yeah, there was a fair bit of blood. I'd cracked my toenail. So yeah, just got that bandaged up, and I wasn't allowed to get in the pool after that. But I did get to watch everyone else, which was shit, to be honest, actually. Shit, because you don't really learn a lot about swimming when you're not swimming. It's definitely a sport that you need to be doing and not watching. I was even more annoyed with the swimming instructor at the end, because I said to him, right, okay, it's the last 10-20 minutes now. It's free time. Can I get my inflatable boat out? And he was like, Rhino, we don't have any free time here. And I said, well, when I was a kid having swimming lessons, we would always have 10, 15, 20 minutes at the end where you get to do whatever swimming exercises you wanted or play with whatever floats you wanted. So I bought an inflatable boat because I always wished I had one of them when I was a kid. So I put that in the pool, and he was like, no, you can't be doing this. You don't have free time, and you're not allowed in the pool with your bleeding toe. And I said, well, why can't I just bleed into my boat then? I'll just sit in my boat bleeding, and then let that raise up from there. At least that way the blood's not going in the pool. Stop being so dramatic. But yeah, whatever, big argument. There was no free time anyway. I guess you get more for your money when you're a kid. So yeah, all in all, pretty shit hobby to have, swimming. In the changing rooms as well, I didn't have a towel because I left it at home. So I had to dry myself on a hairdryer, and my clean t-shirt I was going to put on. I spent more time drying myself off than I was actually swimming that day. Yeah, so will I go back? I don't know. The instructor wants me to go back because he says that I have a lot to learn. But I don't think I'll go back because I didn't really learn anything. If anything, next week I'm going to get one of my mates to go down, and I'll get him to tell a story about how the rhino went swimming straight after one of your lessons and drowned. That'll be so funny, that. I'll be outside like recording his reaction. And then I'll come out and be like, hey, I'm not dead, but I could have been. Nah. Well, I might. Anyway, despite hobbies, I also need a new job. So if you've got any job suggestions for me, that would be great. I need some more. I also, let me know of any hobbies you want me to get involved with. And also, let me know if there's any questions you want me to ask. So, answer. Not ask. Don't get me to ask questions. That would be silly. Yeah, you ask questions and I'll answer them. Alright, rhinos. See you later. This is me swimming, by the way.